Okay, let's get started. This is a Pro Traders Workshop series video, and I'm going to be going over high probability trades. What does a good trade look like that most likely is anywhere from 70 to 90% accurate? And for that, we obviously would need a lot of confirmation for a trade, and I will show you that confirmation. What you see here, we're going to be going over the US dollar index, divergence, candlestick patterns, or commonly known as price action, supply and demand zone, and we're going to be using the stochastics indicator. I have it set at 10, 5, and 3. So at the beginning of the week, let me just pull up USD dollar index, because if you want to know where the US dollar, where the pound dollar, the euro dollar, Aussie dollar is heading, you would look at the dollar index. So what I noticed at the beginning of the week was a trendline break. I'm using a smart trader platform, makes it a lot easier to recognize patterns, trend lines, automatically draws your trend line for you, so it doesn't have to be subjective. It doesn't. It just connects the swing points, and there's your trend line break. We also have a double top and divergence. So knowing that the dollar index is in a downtrend, and just to put this into perspective, it was in an uptrend since January, the beginning of the year, and higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. But what happened? The market completely reversed Sunday night, Eastern, and there it is. Okay, so I know that using my tools, recognizing wave patterns in the opposite direction of price, trendline break, this rally that started at the beginning of 2022 pretty much is over. Okay, so I don't trade the dollar index, but what I do trade is the other currency pairs. So what happened? I'll go into smaller time frames. We bought euro dollar, confirmation of a trend line break, and there it is. We bought pound dollar, and again, there it is. Here is a channel. Price broke above the channel. That was your entry. So all these trades that were taken this week against the 376 pips since the beginning of probably what day was that? October 25th. And then the USD Swiss sold off. Okay, and again, when you trade off the daily chart, it's extremely powerful time frame to trade, especially if a trend line break is broken off a daily chart. You're going to see at least 100, 200 pip move, and possibly 2 to 3 weeks move to the downside. In this case, here's a trend line in the opposite direction. Notice that price broke a trend line on USD Swiss, came back and tested the backside. That's your entry. And from September 14th till now, USD Swiss was in an uptrend. Okay, we wouldn't know that unless we're looking at USD dollar index. So the US dollar index pretty much is your gauge to determining whether you should be buying the pound dollar, the euro dollar, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Okay, so as long as US dollar index is in an uptrend, you want to be selling the euro dollar and the pound dollar and buying the USD Swiss. Now the market's completely reversed. We have several confirmations on the daily chart: divergence, trendline break. Let's see if there's anything on the weekly that can help us. And on the weekly, it's really top heavy. In the past 3-4 weeks, market has not been able to penetrate this 13,000 500 level. 1, 2, 3, 4, an entire month. And stochastics is overbought as well in the weekly chart. So that really is helpful. Okay, now it's coming into a buy zone right now on the weekly chart, but we're not worried about that. Okay, what we care about is a continuing sell-off on USD dollar on a daily chart and waiting for price to find support, go back up, look for a sell opportunity using our Fibonacci tools, and then take it down lower. So again, I don't trade the US dollar index, but I do trade the euro dollar, the pound dollar, USD yen, USD Swiss, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. So any currency that is paired up with the US dollar, I would trade. And of course, you use the dollar index to help you with direction. So euro, the New Zealand dollar has broken a trend line, should continue to rally for the rest of the week. Okay. So right now, the Euro USD, the Pound USD, Aussie USD, New Zealand are all in an uptrend, and they are confirmed by trend lines. Daily chart trend line, we are no longer in a downtrend on Euro dollar. So we don't want to take trades. We do not want to chase it. So we're going to be looking for pullbacks on this pair, and we use the smaller time frames for that. Okay, so rally, pullback, rally, pullback, rally, waiting for the next pullback so we can buy it. So I also look at all time frames that can help me, give me a clue as to if the market's going to retrace, so look for support, or if it's hitting a resistance level and we'll have to exit the trade if I am in a position. So right now, we're going to wait for the market to pull back and see if it finds support somewhere, and usually around before the European session, which will be Thursday. I'm hoping for some sort of pullback before we buy it, because it looks like this is a long-term trade, at least 2 or 3 weeks based on what we see on a daily chart. So we're going to do that on the euro dollar. We're going to be looking for pullbacks on pound dollar. Hopefully it can come back down to the trend line. Trend lines act as support unless they're clearly broken. So notice this trend line here, support, and then if it comes back down there, that should be a support. We'll start looking for buying opportunities and pushing pound dollar probably to 117.50 to 119. Okay.